Your responsibility lies in realizing your child's future dreams. Minimuthu Dayada Children's Insurance from Sri Lanka Insurance. Call 235-7357.
In a few moments, the news.
Sri Lanka Insurance, like a father, like a mother.
This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
The time is 6:15. Here's the news, edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe and assisted by Nilusha, read by Victor Raj. First, take a look at the headlines of the local news. The Army Commander emphasizes that there is no necessity to lock down the country. 119 new infected persons have been identified from the Minuwangola COVID cluster. Parliament has been informed that 45 million rupees has been spent on advertising to build the image of good governance government housing minister. The Prime Minister reveals that 20 FCID officers have gone overseas on 19 occasions with government funds during the time of good governance government. Foreign news. French officials say more than 40% of intensive care hospital beds are now taken by COVID patients. Sports news. Australia women equal ODI world record with New Zealand victory. Local news in detail. 119 new infected persons have been identified from the Minuwangola COVID cluster. Accordingly, the Government Information Department said that a total of 1,022 COVID patients have been identified so far. The department said all of them are employees of the Brandix garment factory. The department further said they are under quarantine at present. Army Commander Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva says police curfew has been imposed in several police areas in Gampaha district this morning. He said the quarantine curfew has been imposed until further notice to the Ja'ala and Kandana police areas of the Gampaha Kelaniya police divisions. Accordingly, quarantine curfew has been imposed in Gampaha, Kirindivela, Dompe, Pugoda, Ganemulla, Veeragula, Valivaria, Malwatu Hirupitiya, Nitambua, Meedikama, Pallevela, Veyanguda, Minuwangola and Yakkala police areas. Steps have been taken to give new dates for the court cases where there is quarantine curfew. The Judicial Service Commission has informed the relevant courts to display new dates on the billboards of the court premises. Secretary to the Commission said that the new dates can be obtained by visiting the courts following health guidelines after the quarantine curfew is ended. Army Commander Shavendra Silva says that there is no necessity at present to lock down the country. He said that bringing down Sri Lankans from overseas has not been stopped and they are being brought down methodically. Director of the Epidemiology Unit, Dr. Sudat Samaravira, said that according to the test results of the COVID patients identified so far, the virus density is at a high rate. Therefore, the possibility of them infecting another person is also high. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Minimuthu Dayada Children's Insurance from Sri Lanka Insurance. Call 235-7357.
More local news. Nation Building Tax Amendment Draft Bill, Economic Services Fees Amendment Bill, Airport and Harbour Development Tax Amendment Bill and 5 motions under the Appropriation Bill were passed in Parliament today without amendments. The parliamentarians got the opportunity today to ask questions from the Prime Minister. Replying to a question raised by MP Sampath Athukora, the Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said that publicity unit of the National Housing Development Authority has functioned under the units since 2020. 3 units since 2020. It was revealed that the National Housing Development Authority has spent 45 million rupees to build the image of the housing minister during the time of the good governments. The Prime Minister said that a proper investigation will be conducted into the incident. Replying to a question by MP Vasantha Bandara, the Prime Minister said that 20 FCID officials have gone overseas on 19 occasions during the time of good governance government. He said the government has paid funds as allowances for them. Expressing his views at the debate today, Minister Bandula Gunawardena said that even powerful countries such as US are facing financial crisis. He said that Sri Lankan took measures to develop the country by giving priority to local economy. Taking part in the debate, MP Harsha De Silva said that a proper investigation should be conducted into the reports that a head of a Brandix brought down a group of Indian industrialists to the country without undergoing the quarantine process. Minister Bandula Gunawardena said that an investigation will be conducted without causing any injustice to workers or officials of Brandix. That came to you in local news.
In the ever-changing world, our children's dreams are much larger. We need to plan ahead if we want to make their dreams a reality.
The King of Insurance introduces the Minimuthu Dayada Children's Insurance. 125% of the sum assured after maturity. Mother, father or guardian receives 5 times the insured amount as the insurance cover. 1,000 rupees per day hospitalization cover. Your responsibility lies in realizing your child's future dreams. Minimuthu Dayada Children's Insurance from Sri Lanka Insurance. Call 235-7357.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Education Minister Professor G.L. Perez says that Grade 5 scholarships and GC advanced level examinations will be conducted as scheduled. During a media briefing today at the Government Information Department, the minister said that steps have been taken to hold the examinations according to the health guidelines. 331,000 students will be sitting for the Grade 5 scholarship examination at 2,936 centres. The advanced level examination will be held at 2,648 centres. 362,000 students are sitting for the GC advanced level examination this year. Secretary to the Ministry of Education, Professor Kapila Pereira, says that the program has been implemented to get information about students who are sitting for the Grade 5 scholarships and advanced level examinations. He said the relevant form will be uploaded today to the Ministry website. The scholarship examination will be held on Sunday. The GC advanced level examination will commence on Monday. That came to you in main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
Moving on to Watchlight, the Acting Inspector General of Police has established an operations centre and a control room to get information from the general public to take necessary measures to prevent the spread of COVID-19. The operations centre and the control room have been set up at the police headquarters. The hotline number 1933 has been made available for the general public to inform the COVID-19 related matters. That came to you in Watchlight. Moving on to world news, let's take a look at the headlines of the world news. French officials say more than 40% of intensive care hospital beds were now taken by COVID-19 patients. The US tightens temporary worker visa rules. Russia opens criminal case over pollution of Russia's Far East. World news in detail. French officials say more than 40% of intensive care hospital beds in the Île-de-France region are now taken by COVID patients. They say 449 people were being treated in hospitals in area, which includes the capital Paris. It is France's most populous region with more than 12 million inhabitants. The officials warned that the occupancy rate could reach 50% in about 2 weeks. Some hospitals have already started rescheduling planned surgeries. The U.S. government has announced it will tighten the requirements for the popular H-1B visa. These visas are widely used by tech firms, and visa recipients are mostly from India and China. The temporary visas are intended to allow U.S. companies to use foreign workers to fill skills gaps, but the Trump administration said the visa has been abused, often at the expense of American workers. Russia today opened a criminal case to establish why water was contaminated off Russia's far eastern coast and sea creatures killed. Conservation group Worldwide Fund described the pollution as toxic. Greenpeace last week said it looked like an ecological disaster off the coast of Kamchatka region, where dead sea creatures washed up on the shore. 2 scientists have been awarded the 2020 Nobel Prize in Chemistry for developing the tools to edit DNA. Emmanuel Carpentier and Jennifer Doudna are the first 2 women to share the prize, awarded for their work on the technologically of genome editing. Their discovery, known as the CRISPR-Cas9 genetic scissors, is a way of making specific and precise changes to the DNA contained in living cells. To wrap up the world news, just take a look at the headlines once again. French officials say more than 40% of intensive care hospital beds are now taken by COVID patients. The U.S. tightens temporary worker visa rules. Russia opens criminal case over pollution of Russia's Far East. That ends world news. Moving on to development news. Vidulanka PLC, one of Sri Lanka's pioneers in renewable energy power generation, has joined with the Irrigation Department to enhance an existing early warning system to protect communities from floods. The 2 organizations donated an online monitoring system to the Colombo Regional Office. The system can share details online and send alert messages to monitoring agencies. That ends development news.
Sports news is brought to you by
Munchie Chocolate Cream Biscuit. Chocolate in every bite.
Cricket news. Australia women have equalled the world record 21-game winning run in one-day internationals after beating New Zealand by 232 runs in Brisbane. Looking to match the record set by Ricky Ponting's Australian side in 2003, the hosts totaled 325 for 5 after stand-in captain Rachel Haynes hit 96. The visitors were all out for 93 in their biggest ODI defeat by Australia, who won the series 3-0. Australia can set a new record when they face India on 22nd of January 2021. Australia is also the Women's 2020 World Champions after winning their home tournament in March. Moving on to tennis news, Rafael Nadal's bid to equal Roger Federer's record of 20 Grand Slams at this year's French Open remains alive following victory over Jannik Sinner in the tournament's latest ever finish. The big-hitting Italian broke Nadal in the opening set and looked to serve out before the Spanish 12-time champion hit back on and won the tie-break. Nadal dominated the rest of the quarter-final and sealed a 7-6, 7-4, 6-4, 6-1 win. He will now face Diego Schwartzman. That ends sports news.
Hey guys, we've got our very own Queen Bee here to review something for us.
Okay, here we go. It's the right amount of crunch and OMG, so much chocolate. The texture is so good. It's creamy and velvety and just so much chocolate. The packaging is super cool and new and there's like so much chocolate. And OMG, the taste, it tastes like so good and there's so much chocolate. Like with every bite. 10 out of 10 for me.
Munchie chocolate cream biscuit. Chocolate in every bite.
Great news for grade 5 students who saves with Hapan. A scholarship model paper book from the NSP Hapan account. Also gifts for scholarship winners with the account balance over 3,000 rupees at branch level events. Visit the nearest NSP branch for more information. Save with Hapan. Win the world with Hapan. Conditions apply.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
The Commercial Bank of Ceylon has announced the compilation of all formalities relating to the private placement of shares with the International Finance Corporation and the receipt of $50 million from the letter for 115,197,186 ordinary voting shares in bank. This is the first foreign equity placement by a commercial bank, the first post-pandemic equity placement by the IFC, and is one of the largest foreign investments into Sri Lanka since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. That came to you in Business News.
Great news for grade 5 students who saves with Hapan. A scholarship model paper book from the NSP Hapan account. Also gifts for scholarship winners with the account balance over 3,000 rupees at branch level events. Visit the nearest NSP branch for more information. Save with Hapan. Win the world with Hapan. Conditions apply.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy.
Calm down, everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge.
LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
Sri Lanka's stock gained 0.41% today, recovering from the two-day slide with the resurgence of the new COVID cluster in the country. Stockbrokers said that a strategic investor buying pushed the market after record plunges in stock prices in the last 2 days. Colombo's main all-share price index climbed 18.61 points to end at 5,553.22. That ends Economic News.
Congratulations on your promotion. Heard you gave a treat for everyone in your department yesterday.
Yeah.
When will be our treat, huh?
Well, how about today?
Oh no, I was just joking. We'll have a party with your new salary.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Those who spread goodness radiate happiness to everyone around them. Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
Weather report was sponsored by
CIB Janajaya Vasana 15th phase offer from 14th September to 11th October. Win gifts worth in 100,000s for every over 3,000 rupees bill. Visit CIB today.
The Met Department says there is a high possibility of afternoon thunder showers, particularly in the northern, north-central, eastern, Uva and northwestern provinces during next few days. Showers or thunder showers look at several places in northern, north-central, eastern, Uva and northwestern provinces in the afternoon or night. Heavy showers above 100 mm are likely at some places. Showers look at several places in the western, Sabaragamu and central provinces and in Galle and Mathura districts. That ends Weather Report.
Weather report was sponsored by
CIB Janajaya Vasana 15th phase offer from 14th September to 11th October. Win gifts worth in 100,000s for every over 3,000 rupees bill. Visit CIB today.
A recap of headlines to wrap up the evening news on Radio Sri Lanka. The Army Commander emphasizes that there is no necessity to lock down the country. 119 new infected persons have been identified from the Minuwanguda COVID cluster. Parliament has been informed that 45 million rupees has been spent on advertising to build the image of good governance, Government Housing Minister. The Prime Minister reveals that 20 FCID officials have gone overseas on 19 occasions with government funds during time of good governance government. Foreign news, French officials say more than 40% of the intensive care hospital beds are now taken by COVID patients. Sports news, Australia women equal ODI world record with New Zealand victory.